Radio is here. Tell everyone you know. The wait is over. 98.5 Speed FM.
Catch us if you can.
Juega con tu corazón, sabes decir que no. ¿Cómo decirte que te quiero, que muero por tu amor? Yo no he perdido la ilusión, ni el tiempo ni la razón. Oye, déjame curarte este mal de amores. Me duele verte llorar. Bailando, tu boca y la mía felices gozando. Vas moviendo la cintura, sube la temperatura. Yo te regalo mi universo, ya no lo pienses más. Oye, déjame curarte este mal de amores. Me duele verte llorar. Decirte, mami, una cosita. Yo te doy lo que tú necesitas. Solo quiero que tú seas mía. Quiero hacértelo. La luna yo te bajaré. Mi corazón te lo daré. Conmigo vas a enloquecer. Yo quiero estar contigo. Oye, déjame curarte este mal de amores. Me duele verte llorar.
Speedy welcome to the show for everyone. Good evening, everyone listening out there. Wherever you are, you're listening to Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, live from the Spice Center, George's Quarters, Macaulay. Today is International Day for Women. We celebrate a woman. Do you have a woman in your family, in your house? Is she a relative or just someone living with you? But there's a woman around. They're always everywhere. You can't miss them because they bring the breath of life. My name is Ted. Welcome to SPEEDy Sports on Asking Radio 98.5 FM, Macaulay. Today on the program, first of all, we join the rest of the world to celebrate women as we mark the International Women's Day this year. We at Asking Radio send our shout out and our greetings to every woman out there listening to this program, with our own ears or to the ears of our husband or her children. Of course, here we guarantee the rights and privileges of every woman at the company. And we strive to create a platform where women will have their voices heard, and they do have. That is where every Wednesday evening by 1700 hours, as 5 p.m., the CEO himself, King James here, creates a platform strictly for women to sit with him, discuss things that concern women. That program has been running and it will continue for as long as possible. It's just a time for women. Those who funny are restricted. Some men try to sneak into call, but of course, through his smartness, the CEO himself, he notices even when a man tries to disguise his voice and sound like a woman, he knows, so he cuts you off. It's strictly for women. That's to tell you that ahead of the celebration for women at Asking Radio, at Asking Media as a larger company, we've been celebrating women. There's provision and space for every woman here to have their voices heard. So we congratulate every woman out there for celebrating today. Back to sports. Of course, African women in sports in history. As we celebrate women, we'll talk a little bit about that. The FIFA Women's World Cup in Sweden in 1995 afforded Africa space to make history as Rita Nwedike became the first African woman to score at the international tournament against Canada. Zambia's Barbara was the one to score the 1,000th goal in a all-female game World Cup in history to cement her legacy. In fact, there's a tournament named in Zambia against her. We have heard that already. So we have women who have made history in sports that is unrivaled, is unmatched by so many others in different parts of the world. We have them in different places. We have women who are referees. We have women who are managers. We have the famous one at Chelsea that had a problem with Jose Mourinho and had to leave, but had to be called back because of her role in the team. So women have also given that quota in sports in different ways. Is there any woman in sports you know? We have them in Nigeria here. I will give you that list shortly. But is there a famous woman in sports you know, especially in Nigeria here, that you wish to celebrate today? Or do you wish to phone in to talk about a woman that is trying to strive to help girls on the street, girls in school, to excel in sports, to find a voice for themselves, to identify themselves as girls coming up and growing up? Or you know another old woman somewhere that is still active, trying to speak on behalf of women? It might not just be sports necessarily, but of course, you can give a shout out here and call. Our studio hotlines are same. They have never changed. You can call the hotlines and talk about that. Give your shout out to a woman in sports or a woman that you want to give a shout out to. Connecting to sports will be happy. 080-8427-5464. That's 080-8427-5464. When you call the studio hotlines, you could make a shout out to a woman in sports. We have women referees across Africa. One of them famously have been recognized by FIFA. We have Salima Mukasanga from Rwanda, the first female referee to officiate at AFCON's all-men's game. Of course, she handled that. Remember that game between Burkina Faso and Algeria? Where a player walked up to her and looked at her and told her that her place belongs in the kitchen, and the player was actually questioned by FIFA and CAF. She also went all the way to Qatar 2022 and Australia 2023. The global tournaments. It's a trained nurse and a mother. So to be a female referee, you don't really have to abandon all your career. You could be a family woman or do whatever job you have to do. We have some who are police officers, but are referees who do that job and all that. We have them in the Premier League that we watch almost week in, week out. We have them as assistant referees. We have them as fourth officials. We have them as central referees as well in Europe or there. Even Africa here, we have them. We have Bochra Kapogi is a police inspector in Morocco, has become known in Africa. She's been famous in football. It's a no-nonsense referee, of course. She has officiated matches in Morocco, all men's games, and then at AFCON. We're going to see a lot of them in the AFCON again coming. We have Diana Chikopora from Zambia, officially known as the Super Diana. She's, they call her the sexy referee because she dresses well off the pitch. She's a model. On the pitch, she is a police officer and a referee. Does very well for that. We have a lot of them. But then beyond the referees there, we have women in Nigeria who have made us proud over time as athletes. So many of them that are still doing that in Europe and in different places. We've had the likes of Chioma Ajunwa, track and fields. Everybody remembers her, long jump, back in the days, 96. At Atlanta, she won a lot. She brought Nigeria to fame, raised her flag at the podium, and has been known in Nigeria as one of our biggest guests who sold our names positively before our athletics started going down. But of course, it's coming back. We're getting back up there. Blessing Okagbare is there, of course, in spring. You can't forget her name. She's there. She did very well for us and has been there. Mary Onyali, do you remember any other name? She's there as well. Of course, we have Azizat Oshola in sports. Nkechi Akashili in basketball. We have her there. Odunayo Adekonyere in wrestling. Of course, that's another big one. And then we do have as well here Francisca Odega, who is from Benue, football. A very, very big name when it comes to sports. Has been there. Benue sold out, has played across many big clubs in Europe and is still doing well out there. Which of these do you identify with? You want to talk about any of them in sports? You can give us a shout out. You can call the numbers again, our studio hotlines, and then reach out to anybody you want to say something about any sports athlete, female especially, that has actually crossed your mind, that has done well in the world of sports? It doesn't have to be football, so many other sports. It could be anyone that I did not mention here. Maybe some I don't know, but it could be anyone. So call our studio hotlines once again. The numbers, if you're watching us online, you could see them. But the number is, if you're listening to us, the number once again is 080-8427-5464. That's 080-8427-5464. If you call that number, you get to us. All right, let's switch to the world of tennis. The WTA, World Tennis Association, has announced that female players will receive paid maternity leave. Paid maternity leave on every tour. Many players, female players in tennis, had some difficulties after giving birth to return. Difficulties in being seeded. Some lost their positions of being seeded. Some actually got back. They had to fight. Some had to play with nannies sitting in the stands with their babies. But the WTA now is trying to find a way financially to enable them to be able to balance after giving birth to the return. I don't know what they're thinking about them. Maternity leave should also have a paternity, no equivalent of that. But of course, when it's a man that does it that a woman gets pregnant, unless it's another form of pregnancy. But that should balance a little bit. It's Women's Day, so of course, WTA has announced that, and that's very good. Many of the players are happy that the grants will be given for both fertility treatment and those who conceive and give birth, so that they will have time to deliver and return fully and help themselves to come back to the sport. And I think that's a very good one for the WTA to consider the strength and the fatigue that women go through the whole months of pregnancy. Sometimes it could exceed 9 due to some complications. And as an athlete, you come back, your body has to heal before you return to start playing fully again. That's a very good one for the WTA to consider. Let's switch to the world of sports, and I'm going straight to our home team, Lobby Stars, who have broken my heart once again this evening. Yes, we've been speaking about Lobby Stars on this show, on this program for weeks now. I called them a nomadic team yesterday, and Benny has gone. Benny's a scout. He has gone to scout for some players for a very top team. That he will bring them here. You see them, so he's not on the seat today. He would have been here to defend himself again. Lobby Stars left Nasarawa State, the stadium there, and went to Bauchi in search of a home ground where they would play games. They went to Bauchi. It didn't quite work out. Whatever happened there, I don't know. They were sent to Enugu to have it that is closer to Benue State by geographic location, and the climate is a lot better, more familiar. They went to Enugu and played today. The first game in Enugu today, Ikorodu City came all the way from Lagos. So that was supposed to be a home game for Lobby Stars in Enugu. They played that game. I followed it up until suddenly Ikorodu Stars. It was going to be like a draw. A draw would have been celebrated by Lobby. Let me not hide my mouth and say that. I will say that today. A draw would have been celebrated by Lobby Stars to get a point. They are at the bottom of that table. Even if they win the next 2 games, it takes the grace of the other lower teams on that table to lose up to 3 games to Lobby to get out of relegation. That's how bad it is. It's as bad as that. Top of that table, the MPFL, you have Remo Stars on top with 54 points from 28 games. You have Rivers United, 28 games, 44 points. You have Shooting Stars of Ibadan, 28 games, 43 points. You have Ikorodu City that came to win Lobby at home, which is supposed to be in Benue, but unfortunately it's in Enugu, 28 games, 42 points. The bottom of that table, 20th to 17th to 18th, I'll call. 28th is Lobby, 28 games, 24 points. That's horrendous. That's horrible. Who does that? 28 games, 24 points. Aqua United, 27 games, 27 points. Sunshine Stars of Akure, 27 games, 31 points. And I think close there is Nasarawa United and Plateau United, who are both on 27 games, both 31 points apiece. And one will sincerely ask the question, what is wrong with Lobby Stars? What is really happening at the club? I'm sure and I'm aware of the fact that government has committed funds. We were aware that was made public, so it's not a hidden thing that government committed funds to the club, starting from the procurement of buses, that they even wrote on the buses, earlier boys. I don't know whether that's how they want to reward the governor, to see your earlier boys and your play. Is a problem for the management or the players? I don't know. But if you know and you're listening to this program out there, You could call in to tell us exactly. We are listening. The governor listened to this station. He has ears. If he's not very close, he has ears that listen. Whatever you think you could say about lobby recommendations without saying something that is not allowed on air, you could speak. What is wrong with lobby stars? What is the way forward? What do you think? As a sports team here, we are worried that the team representing the state, the entire Benue state, is going through that at the bottom of the table. Is that where we belong? Not at the point when FIFA is sharing $1 billion to clubs that make top four in different continents. Africa has 4 slots. So which teams? That means if that money is supposed to come to Africa, then we're having Remo Stars, Rivers United, Shooting Stars of Ibadan, Ikorodu City. We have no share. We have no way to get that money. But you should have been part of it, because Lobby is it's a brand, it's a big name. The name Lobby itself is a big name, it's a brand. So what is happening? If you can reach us, if you want to call and talk about Lobby, if you want to talk about ladies today, or women, you can reach us on our studio hotline. As usual, it has not changed. So you can call the hotlines, or you can reach us on Facebook. Call our studio lines on 08084275464. That's 08084275464, and you are live in the studio. Today in Europe, a lot happened. Liverpool had to pull back to claim their spot on top of the log. It was shaky. It was very shaky because Southampton scored first, and then Liverpool were shaky, but they had to come back. Salah had to get 2 penalties. People are saying Salah is scoring penalties, and they're giving him all the best, but he's the only person standing on the podium for the Ballon d'Or at the moment. But there's a player we are forgetting. Don't forget, there's a player called Harry Kane in Bayern Munich in Germany. Even though they lost today, they were humiliated at home 3-2. The same thing with Borussia Dortmund. They lost at home. The big games, the big teams in Germany losing. I do not know if they are conserving their energy for the Champions League, which is going to be the next week. Most of them they still have a say in Europe, or saving their energy for the international break that starts on the 17th. That's upper week, to play for their countries to qualify for different leagues across the globe, or what. But they lost in a very humiliating way at home. The same thing with Dortmund. But Liverpool, they won at home. They were losing at home. Then they turned it around. Salah with 2 penalties, where they arranged. People say suddenly Salah is scoring. They want to to neutralize what Jamie Carragher said. So Salah should win the Ballon d'Or. But I think he deserves to win, because he has been exceptional for Liverpool. If it is penalty, yes. If it is not penalty, he scores. In every game, he's present. He tries to pull a stunt. He does something that at least can get them a point, or at least 3 points. Today they secured that 3 points, so they're still top of the table. Brighton had a draw with Fulham today. Crystal Palace struggled at Selhurst Park to win against Ipswich Town, another team that is always very, very hard when it comes to playing away. They lost today. But tomorrow is a big one. Chelsea will host Leicester City, and Tottenham Hotspur will be at home to Bournemouth. The big game comes in the evening when Arsenal takes on Manchester United. The table does not look tricky, because Liverpool is top there with 70 points. Arsenal with 54. Even if they win the next 2 games, it will be a while before they catch up with Liverpool, even though they are hoping. Liverpool have 29 games. Arsenal do have a game in hand anyway, so that's not... the first 2 games, 6 points. Depends on what happens at the top. They could go close 6 points to 70. That's not very far from 54. It's good. Nottingham Forest defeated Manchester City. Now, that was a game that everybody was looking at City maybe leapfrogging Forest to get up, but that was far. So Nottingham Forest got up there with Hudson-Odoi, a former Chelsea player sent to Nottingham Forest. They got a goal. He got a goal, and that was it. They ended the City's run. So they are top of City now with 51 points, and Manchester City with 47 points. So as it stands, if Chelsea wins a game tomorrow against Leicester City, they will leapfrog Man City and go back. Those that battle for the Champions League spot, 4th and 5th, is still lingering. But Nottingham Forest have cemented their place there. Let me not say they have. They are about to, and they wish they remain their 3rd, or they can leapfrog Arsenal, because 51 to 54 is not very far. If Arsenal slip and Nottingham Forest wins their next game, they'll be tied on points. The goal difference is what will determine. So Nottingham Forest is a team to watch out for. If they are coming for your team at home or away, watch out for them because they are good. They are playing very excellent football. To beat Manchester City like that tells you what they can do. They're a great team. Chelsea, they are having a game tomorrow. I think they have a game tomorrow, yes, against Leicester City. And Spurs play Bournemouth, and Man U play Arsenal. That's the game of the day. Back in the days when Manchester United could play Arsenal, it used to be a war between Patrick Vieira and Roy Keane, and then Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson. These days, a little bit though, I don't know whether Mourinho and Mikel Arteta could bring that bite back that we used to have those days, that the EPL was the EPL. It is no longer what it used to be, but as it is, we'll still see what comes out of it for tomorrow. That's Super Sunday, so keep your fingers crossed. We don't encourage betting here, but I'll tell you, don't go for a win. Probably if you want if you want to be safe, go for a draw, see what will come out of it, so that you're a lot more safe than putting all your money inside one team and then you get heartbroken and you call us here to say, okay, this is what happened. You're listening to SPEEDy Sports on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makodi. My name is Ted, and we're talking about things happening around sports, around Africa and around the world. Talking about what is happening in the EPA on the table. Liverpool getting the last point today to go back 70 points, with Arsenal 54, Forest 51, Manchester City 47, and Chelsea 46. And the bottom of that table looks scary. Southampton with 9 points from 28 games. I thought Lobby were the worst around the world, but here is something worse. 28 games and 9 points from Southampton. For Leicester City, that is going to play tomorrow and next, they have 27 games played and then have 17 points. The same thing with Ipswich Town, 28 games played, 17 points. That's very poor record of them. So Wolves, Everton, West Ham, and Manchester United and Tottenham, big teams that you shouldn't think they should be around that place. Manchester United 27 points and 27 games, 33 points. The same with Tottenham, 27 games, 33 points. Brentford 27 and 38 points. So the big teams are low. So what's happening to these big teams? But over the week, funny enough, we did have some kind of representation in Europe where Liverpool went to Spain, to France, got a result against resurging PSG. Arsenal went to Netherlands, got a very good result. Aston Villa did. Chelsea did in Copenhagen. Manchester United had a draw with that handball from Fernandes, whether it was hand to ball or ball to hand. It was a penalty that they would have won. Sociedad is threatening that they know how to defeat Manchester United in England, so they'll be here. They'll be in England over the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Champions League, second leg, round of 16. So that will be a decider. If you drop here, there's no second leg. From Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever happens, whichever team gets in is going to the next round. They will see that after that, the draws will come after that. So you're going to look out for that Tuesday, Wednesday. The teams in England did well. The teams in Germany did. Some are on the verge of elimination. I don't think they will ever have a comeback. The teams in Spain also doing well. So we'll have to watch out for that too. But tomorrow on the show, we're going to give you details of what to expect on Tuesday and on Wednesday. We'll talk more about that on tomorrow's show. But as it stands, so we have 5 teams in England, 5 teams. And Brighton and Hove Albion not very far. Also Newcastle not very far. So we have Liverpool, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, and Manchester City for the Champions League. That's next round. Chelsea for the Europa. Brighton and Hove Albion and Newcastle not very far from where they're supposed to be, because any loop from the top, they're going to get in to that to crossover. So it's a fight for the 4th place from Manchester City, Chelsea, Brighton and Hove Albion. Newcastle is not very far. AFC Bournemouth, another big team, not very far. Big team because they have made themselves big. Sometimes you don't have to let someone tell you that you're big. You have to make yourself big, and they have made themselves big. So they're hanging around the big boys. It's just a matter of a game. Any team on top draws or loses and they win, they're up there. Just 3 points. They're up there. Goal difference doesn't count at this point in time. Just get your 3 points, get up there, and then see what happens on the table. You are listening to SPEEDy Sports on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. My name is Ted, and we're giving you the moments of your life in sports here. You could be a part of the program as our time winds down. If you want to call in, you can call in and have a say. Today we are celebrating women in sports. Of course, it's International Women's Day, so we're celebrating women in sports, women who have done Nigeria proud in sports Africa as well, but we're focusing more on our women. Do you know any woman in sports? Is there a girl on your street that plays football that the parents used to beat her not to play? No, they shouldn't allow her. Maybe that's her career, that's her calling. She could become a sports person in the future, and when the money starts coming, you say, oh, I didn't know. So allow them, let them exercise themselves. That's a call they have. Of course, while growing up those days, they thought that athletes were those people who were lazy. Sports person were people who were lazy, who had nothing to do, that would go to play football and all those stuff. But then when money starts coming, the parents will say, oh, we didn't know. So allow the kids, female, if they want to play, that's fine. We have a lot of them here. We are celebrating all of them. Choma Jinwa, Blessing Okagbari, Mary Onyali, Azizat Oshola, Nkechi Ashali, Odonyo, Odukunyere, and then Francisca Odega, our Super Eagles, big player there that we all know here in Benue. She has been very, very consistent. Of course, there's a point along the line that there was some kind of issues around she being called to the national team, that the FA didn't want her to be invited for whatever reasons. But she's got a very big contract in a very big league now. She's played around some of the best leagues in the world. Someday she becomes the coach of the Super Falcons. I won't be surprised, because she has given a lot to the country. So it'll be time for her to also mentor them. And if we have a very good and consistent female team in Benue, of course, now we're trying to raise one. A private team became a state-adopted team. That's the story for another day. But if we get a standard one, that one day she will come home and give out what she has gotten over the years, transfer it to the younger ones, it will be a very, very wonderful thing. Give us a call if you can, but if you can, it's fine. If you can't reach us, that's fine. You can talk about that. We're celebrating our women. We're talking about what's happening in the world of sports everywhere. My name is Ted on the show. The number to call once again on the show, if you can't reach us as we try to wind up, is 080-8427-5464. That's 080-8427-5464. Arsenal fans, I want to ask, do you still have hope? Yeah, Arsenal fans always have hope. They have the most consistent and most hopeful fans in the world. Do you still have hope? Do you think tomorrow Arsenal visiting Man United at Old Trafford, there will be a result? Keep that in mind. We'll talk about that tomorrow on the show. The games come up tomorrow. Don't forget, Chelsea versus Leicester City, Tottenham Hotspur versus AFC Bournemouth, and Manchester United at home to Arsenal. It will be big games to talk about on the show tomorrow on SPEEDy Sports 98.5 Speed FM. Thank you for staying with us this evening on the program. Tomorrow again, catch us here. If you can, we'll be here at the same time to talk about sports. Stay safe and catch us if you can. Good night, sports fans.
This is
Asking Radio 98.5 FM.
Oh yeah.